All right, today let's talk about Tokyo Ghoul's successor, Choujin X, a new manga from Sui Ishida, the mangaka behind the legendary Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Great series. Tokyo Ghoul will always be like a classic in my heart. It's the anime that interested me enough to read the manga, and the first full, actually two, because I read all the Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Ray, but the first full two complete mangas that I've read years ago. But back when Ishida finished Tokyo Ghoul Ray, from reading an interview a few years back, I remember him saying like he was crunched on time finishing Tokyo Ghoul Ray, and that meeting the deadlines for the manga had been tiring, and he had just been looking for a break. So I had thought back then that he probably wasn't gonna make another story. It slipped my head. Time passed. Choujin X came out, right? Once I finally did come across it, I started reading it, but I kind of read a few chapters and set it aside and didn't come back to it because it was feeling nostalgic, but almost too nostalgic in the beginning. I felt almost like it was going to be a copy of Tokyo Ghoul. It felt like it was going the same way, but as I read further, it definitely separated itself as its own title, its own story. And I like it. I like the direction that Ishida took it in this so far. I think the way that he's broken down the chapters, or at least the way the chapters are released, 58.1 is the most current chapter that has come out. That translates to 80 something chapters. He has a lot of chapters that are like 51.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So it's a decent amount of story out, but it took me a little while to read through. The main character in the beginning he was very Kaneki-ish, where he was just like on some real pathetic shit. But time goes on, there's a time skip. He does some work and some training for some time, and he comes back stronger. It's like white hair Kaneki without the torture. I'm not sure if something like that is in store in this story for Tokyo so far, but it hasn't happened, thankfully. And of course, since recording this video, since it's been a few weeks, that's changed. As much as I didn't see it coming, I thought we were in the clear. I won't spoiler or get into too many details, but yeah, something happened. Because the experience with Jason, though it was story changing, was a very dark segment of Tokyo Ghoul. But basically what made Tokyo Ghoul what it was such a tragedy. Choujin X doesn't feel as much as a tragedy as Tokyo Ghoul did, which I kind of like it. It's nice for a change of pace. This manga feels a little bit more shonen, more fitting for a shonen jump manga, where, he has his friends that he relies on, and it's not as much suffering and tragic shit that's happened to him so far compared to Tokyo Ghoul. But there's definitely a lot of parallels. There's a lot of parallels between Tokyo Ghoul and Choujin X, and some of the parallels in the beginning were a little bit off-putting. They just felt too similar, but like I said, in time, everything differentiates itself. So Ishida's art is as beautiful as ever in this story. Choujin X keeps up with the same artwork that we know and love from Ishida for Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Ray, and I'm all for it. I love it, minus the chaosified Choujins, like the full chaos state Choujins, like Zora, that have hands for a head. That's the only thing that, from a design standpoint, I don't know what was going on there. Kakujas? For sure. Any Kakuja and all Kakujas are way better visually and from a design standpoint than the chaosified Choujins. Especially Nari, when she just turns into a giant snakehead, I was like, nah. Wasn't for me. It's weird because it's like that's the only point that just feels so much different to me than Tokyo Ghoul, because like even in Tokyo Ghoul, even partial and half Kakujas, the mask and everything, the designs were so badass. But in Choujin X, especially the huge snake head that busts out of the plane, it's like the snake head, the way it looks, it just doesn't really look cool. Like I don't know if he was intentionally doing that, but it just looks kind of like weird. It's not like scary badass looking snake. It's just a regular looking ass snake, like a big ass plushy head snake, bro. Like I don't know. And then Zora she's just like the praying hands Choujin. Like she's just hands. Her head is two hands with eyes in them. And just like when old girl Alma's chaosification, where she was the hyena with the two hands in her head, I was like, but why? Why the hands for the head instead of like a crazy mask or something? I don't know. Two hands in place of a head just anatomically looked weird to me. But with that aside, I want to get down to this deformed Furuta looking ass boy, Batista. I call him deformed Furuta because he literally looks like Leatherface Furuta, like with a patched together face with a mask over it. He should always keep his mask on. He is a fucking hideous looking bastard when he takes his mask off. But he plays the Furuta role well. He's just like a mysterious behind the scenes. I mean, not behind the scenes, because you see him in fights and he shows up and does shit, but there's so many things about him we don't know and fully understand yet. So he's like the new Chimera, I don't know. He has patched pieces together of like tattoos and parts of body parts that have Choujin powers. So he's got like all different type of powers. Batista's the one that's been making and manufacturing the Zember. The Zember is really what started the story because it's what turned Tokyo and Azuma into Choujin to begin with. So if it wasn't for this little bastard Batista, Tokyo and Azuma wouldn't even have powers. But I know that there's still more to that, just like there was more to it when he gave it to Lama. What the fuck is her name? I just said her name, bro. Palma. Just like when he gave it to Palma, because he's kind of perfected it a little bit over time and stuff. I have a strong feeling, just like how I went with Tokyo Ghoul, that he's really one of the main villains, like bigger than Zora. Got some other shit going behind the scenes like we did with V and the Washus and Tokyo Ghoul. I just want to see what the fuck he's got going on, because I know it's gonna push my boy Tokyo to do some crazier shit. Maybe he's gonna finally accept and get Zora's powers, and that's what he's gonna need to defeat. That might be it. Maybe that's what he needs to defeat Batista in the end, but we're gonna see. And also that boy Sato, Ichiro Sato, he also, I feel like a real mysterious vibe from him too. Like he's kind of got some other shit going on behind the scenes, just with his interactions with some of the bad guys so far. And I do want to see like a little understanding and a flashback maybe of when Tokyo and Sato were in Iwato and he was training him and fighting off Choujin and getting the area under control, because that boy Tokyo came back like on beast mode with a way stronger will on some really knowing his Choujin powers type shit. So I kind of want to see if they do a 3D2Y type flashback later when he uses a new power, or maybe it's just going to be left how it is. I don't know. I mean, it's been a good amount of chapters since that's happened and time has passed, so maybe we won't get a flashback. I was just kind of hoping, just because I'm kind of interested, you know. As they said, Iwato was the most dangerous district or city of Choujin in the manga, so if he was in the most dangerous fucking Choujin town, I wanted to see what he was really going through and what he was fighting and the training he went through, with everything that Batista probably has going on behind the scenes. Even after they defeat Zora, I'm hoping that manga spans like, you know, a good, I could see it easily spanning another good 50-60 chapters easy, between the rest of the Zora fight, Batista having some whole other shit going on behind the scenes with some stronger Choujins. And really, I'm kind of hoping now that Ishida's back in full effect and he's fleshing out this story, I'm kind of hoping he finds a little idea or whatever to do a Ray version, where maybe once they defeat Zora and get some more information and shit going on with Batista, that will end that and start a whole another story that's, you know, I don't know, maybe Tokyo's gonna go through some shit, maybe someone's gonna die, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm asking too much, maybe my boy's been working too hard. I've gotten a little invested into the Choujin story, so kind of hoping it continues and maybe he does a Ray later on, but we'll see with time. I can definitely say though, it lived up to the hype. Choujin X lived up to the hype. It's a little bit less hectic of shit going on with Tokyo as compared to Kaneki, since, you know, Anteku was really a ghoul organization and ghouls as a whole were still the enemy in Tokyo Ghoul. Whereas in Choujin X, he's working for a company that's of good Choujins that basically fight Choujin crime. So he's more on the good side compared to Tokyo Ghoul, where he was like on the good side of the bad people type shit, if you understand what I'm saying. But it's definitely still dark. It's definitely still got a lot of the same underlying tones, got the evil organization going on behind the scenes. If you're a fan of Tokyo Ghoul, it's got a lot of similarities and parallels, but it's its own story. So if you're a fan, I would definitely check it out. I definitely like the path and the way it's going, the way that like some of the people's powers flesh out, because these are actual powers as opposed to just having, you know, different cognate. It's a little bit different in Tokyo Ghoul. So I like the way that he's fleshed things out, fleshed out the world, the powers, everything like that. Hoping it continues, and I'm hoping the manga sells well so he can keep doing his thing with this shit. I'm gonna do some more, you know, breakdowns, deeper comparison, maybe an analysis between some of the parallels and similarities between Tokyo Ghoul and Choujin X, but check back for some more of that if you're interested. I've been reading all kind of manga, so if anime and manga content is your thing, check back for some of that. Otherwise, that's all I'm gonna have for Choujin X today, guys. And on that one, yeah.